Welcome back to another episode of the Royal Podcast, here with co-host Darian, the one Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. It's been about 2 months since we have recorded.
Sorry about that.
Apologies. We've been a little busy.
Good things been happening.
Yeah, I got married.
Mm-hmm.
Very beautiful wedding, actually.
Oh, wonderful.
And it rained. I know that's one of those things that women hate, but it turned out beautiful. So.
Super awesome. A lot of good friends, good family. Mm-hmm. You know, good pictures we're gonna show here. Probably one of the best nights of our lives. You know.
Yeah. If I had to record it, it'd probably be like a movie. Like Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
The little pool scene. The party that
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what it was like, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
What else was going on in our lives?
Well, Star moved in. We finally got all situated. Our house is starting to come together. Recently, my brother moved in town from Tampa, which is good because he wants to go to school here. He's studying philosophy. He's like super nerdy about those kind of things. And he has come to me asking for some strength training, make some gains with the crew here. So I learned from Darian, he learns from me, and we all learn from each other at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a death in the family. It was like a great great grandmother, I would say. Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you go to those things because, especially if you don't, you know them, but you don't really know them. So it's just kind of like a cool thing to see, a synopsis of people's lives.
Yeah. And their journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to a funeral too. Started up a apparel line. I have a fitness clothing line. So now, that's online. So I'll put that in the description maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If you guys like gym stuff, whatever. Other than that, making gains, all kinds. Actually, no, I haven't been making any gains because I hurt my wrist. I went to vacation. I went to Orlando. I went to Daytona with one of my other best friends, and we stayed there for about a week. And I was playing volleyball, jumped up, hit the ball, but I lost balance of my weight, like in the air, I guess, control of my weight, and I landed back on my hand on the sand. And it was like on an incline too, so it bent back a lot. And that's the moment I realized just how heavy I was, because my wrist still hurts, and that was like 3 weeks ago. So yeah, I haven't been making no kind of chest gains or nothing, but
better safe than sorry and sore.
Yeah, at least it's not broken,
Yeah.
I think it's just a bone bruise. But over the course of these 2 months, I guess I've really come to like miss the podcast, doing the podcast. And during the course of those 2 months, I've had a lot of time to think. And so has he. He's gone through a lot too. Both of us have made some moves, and it kind of inspired the topic of today's episode,
which is the missing key in your life. It sounds very mystical, but it's very simple.
Yeah, and a lot of it is, I want you to take whatever we say and pretend that you have glasses on, and whatever we are like kinds of glasses. So whatever we're saying are kinds of glasses, like different forms of perspective. So, and it was actually Brett who was the one that felt inspired to talk about this. So take it away, my boy. You're the one with all of it on your heart. I'll be here.
So, just some things I've been thinking about that people go their day-to-day, routine, their activities, but they're constantly consuming. They're consuming media, the brand new apps.
Trending matters.
Yes.
News.
As I was scrolling through Instagram one morning, I'm seeing all these cars. I'm seeing all,
Instagram stuff.
The models and the flashy money. And I realized most of those cars and money and those models, you know, it's probably programmed to the average person. For me, I believe when you're constantly looking at those things, you're quickly making a comparison of what that person has versus what you have.
Yeah.
So
And that's a natural thing too.
you're automatically inadequate compared to that person because, oh, I'm not doing enough. What am I doing wrong? You know, how come he has that beautiful car, but I'm driving this junk, you know? And automatically that shoots your ego. So if your ego is shot, your whole life spirals downward.
100%. You can't do anything without self-confidence. If you don't have no self-confidence, you're gonna be insecure about all you do. You'll never be sure of your success. You won't be confident in your own ability to do something, and it's always gonna be pain for you. It's always gonna be a pain for you, an embarrassment for you to do something. You know, even people with talent. If you have no confidence, man, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, I feel like when we all have this unconscious, not bias, but we have this unconscious hierarchy in our brains. So we've automatically put these people up here because they have this many followers, they have so much cash flow, they have 6 different models every week, or they have 6 different cars to choose from, which when you just compared yourself on the totem pole or the hierarchy, you've put yourself all the way at the bottom.
Because that's all you're basing your hierarchy off of. You're only basing it off of those people. And that's when it comes into your ego being shot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, my life isn't as meaningful because it's not like these people. Oh, my life is terrible because it's not like these people's. And you lose sight of truly the value of life, with the purpose of your life. You lose the value of goals, etc.
Like if you really want to destroy somebody, I know this is negative, but if you really wanted to destroy somebody, your worst enemy, all you have to do is hit their ego. Once you hit their ego, it's like game over for that person.
No competition.
Done, because their ego is shot and everything falls downward.
And have an anxiety attack and give up.
Right. And a lot of young people that I've noticed, like myself, will look for the shortcut. We will look at those motivation videos on YouTube, and that will only get you so far. That will get you all fired up, and then all of a sudden our brain stops because we're like, wait, there's this step here, this step here, this step here, this step here, but we haven't even started. We're thinking about all these other steps before we even got started, so then we quit. We put over this comfort blanket over us and sat back down and stopped before we even started. And a lot of people don't realize that they do that in their day-to-day lives with everything.
That's a reflex. That's an instinct of the ego to come up with reasons as to why and why not, to come up with what you call security blanket. And it's the thing that helps them go to sleep at night without making that change. It's the most intimate way. It's the most intimate way to live with an excuse.
Yeah. If you're not looking at yourself in the mirror every single day and adamantly making these changes, literally looking at yourself and saying, I didn't work hard today. I slacked.
Not being honest.
I know damn well I slacked. When you just told your buddy you worked real hard today. Not only did you lie to yourself, but you also lied to that person or your boss. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes a habitual thing. Instead of working hard at your job, now you're slacking on making dinner for your family, and now you're just become a slacker entirely throughout your entire life because you're so used to lying to yourself
and getting away with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. Like, you know, usually the consequence of being brutally honest with yourself and saying, just accepting the reality of how bad you did, is the lack of confidence, the pain that comes with that, like the hit to your ego. That's like, you know what? Bro, I'm a liar and this and that for what I did. Now it's time to get better. If you don't apply a consequence, whether it be good or bad, because consequence just means the result of certain action. If you were to do that, you'd find yourself not sequentially doing the same thing over and over again, and then eventually hurting your loved ones and hurting your kids, risking your job because you're lying to your boss and trying to seem like somebody that you're not. Running up your credit cards because you're trying to display this lifestyle that you're really not living. And a lot of that, I think there's one word that can describe that can encompass all the good factors in that, and keep that part of your life under control. And it's called being humble. Just humbleness. Yeah. If you're humble people don't care about what other people think about them, first of all, and second, they're not there to impress nobody either. And usually when you're humble, your ego is enough. That's why we lie, to protect our egos.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of lying.
It's a security blanket.
Yep.
It's a shield. It's like throwing a shield of armor on this super skinny guy that can't hold it.
Yeah, it weighs more than him.
Exactly.
And just like he said that the guy won't be able to hold it, eventually that shield or that armor will crush you. It's false armor. False armor that weighs a lot, takes a lot to carry, but doesn't protect you like it should. It doesn't give you the same kind of protection true armor would. And that's what's one of those missing things in your life. Willpower, humbleness, to have the willpower to be honest with yourself. Willpower is I think I told you this in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Willpower is the human superpower. That is the one true superpower. And so the successful people, actually I think that's what I was saying, successful people have the one human superpower, which is willpower. This ability to will themselves through things, like willing themselves through painful exercises, willing themselves through painful times, controlling urges and not falling for temptations. Willpower. And the only way, and if you're familiar with willpower, most people are, willpower comes and goes. Willpower is not permanent. So how does successful people maintain willpower all the time? Well, they convert it into something. They solidify willpower. They don't make it as temporary. They turn it into, they use this cycle of habits, right? This process of habits that brains have, that we have. And we call that habit of willpower discipline. You lock it in, lock and load with discipline. Instead of using the ammunition of willpower, which short burst, you don't have to worry about that. You have this long line, almost unlimited supply of discipline. And discipline will carry out the proper, it will be the fuel for your vehicle to go on the right path. You don't have to take shortcuts no more. You don't have to worry about taking shortcuts.
Yeah.
So you have the discipline to get through it. You don't have to worry about, trying to look fancy now, trying to look cool now, because you're going to have discipline to work towards those things and then really achieve and live that lifestyle,
Yeah. I would say people fall short on that mainly because of the pain versus pleasure principle.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not familiar with it, which I'm sure you automatically are, is we will gear towards pleasure versus painful experiences.
Yep.
Most people are afraid of being hurt. Most people are afraid of failing. For me, now I used this, like the willpower thing, and the painful experiences. I was training for, I was really training to be eventually a SWAT member or some agent later on. But the way to get through there, you have to do the grunt work. So I decided, okay, I'll join JSO or, jump in. Now, I just applied, and here I'm thinking about all the different steps I need to be a freaking badass going in. Like I wanted to take Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I wanted to train with this ex-Navy member, Marine guy, just to get hand-to-hand combat. All these things I'm already thinking ahead. I wanted a 6-minute mile. You know, I wanted all these things, and I'm just technically like a bodybuilder in that aspect, not so much super fit. So I was like, hold up, I gotta stop, I gotta slow down. I didn't have time to slow down. They sent me an email next week or 2 weeks after my application. They said, hey man, it's time to go, get your mile. And when they had it all written down on this paper of what you needed to do, I was like, wow, I gotta bust my ass now. You know, I have to get in shape now. I'm in shape, but I have to get in this particular shape. So the first day, my brother that moved down with from Tampa, he was here. He's been training with me quite often. He was like, all right, well, let's go run a mile. I was like, okay, cool. We busted ass, ran a mile, 9 minutes. Not great, not good. We're like, you want to do another one? Yeah, we ran another mile. And then one more time, he was like, yo, I think we get our time down. 1 more mile. Boom. Okay, 3 miles in the first day. Every other day, or every single day, I would be running a mile. Now, there was times when I would go to finish the mile and I wanted to stop. I was like, this isn't cool. I was like, this sucks. My legs are hurting. And I remember walking in my apartment and I couldn't walk correctly. I pretty much looked stupid, you know?
Your legs were so much pain.
My calf muscles were all just like shot and lit up, everything. I was like, I can't do this. That is the security blanket that I threw on myself because it was too hard at that point. Now, when I got up the next day, I was like, all right, well, I have to do this if I want to get to be a SWAT member or something great.
Yeah.
So I just kept remembering when I was running the past experiences that I've gone through before. Like, you've been beat before, man. You know, you've got your ass beat constantly. This is nothing compared to that. This is literally a snippet of it. So once you think of those painful experiences while you're going through the painful experience,
it makes it easier.
It makes it so much easier. And on my test, I busted through the obstacle course so easy. Nothing. I go run my mile, my legs are starting to lock up, they're like shot, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm already hurting. This is not good. I didn't have time to heal like these guys. They're probably all fresh, you know, and I'm sitting here like, I have to outrun or outwork all these people no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
What I should have been saying is I have to outwork myself. So when I got in there, I finished my mile. My body, I kept running, you know.
After the mile.
I kept running after the mile because I already pushed through. I was like, all right, you're already in pain, so let's get it done. And when I finished the mile, I kept going, and the guys were like, hey, you're done. Like, I actually booked it the last few, you know. I booked it. And then I was trying to hide the pain when I was walking after stopping, and they're like, are you good? And I laughed it off. I was like, yeah, I just need some ice. Like, I technically was good, but no. Like,
you were in a lot of pain.
I was walking funny. I was looking a little weird.
And it was like that for days too, guys, because he went to the gym with me a few days after that, and you know, he'd get up from like doing his set or something on exercise, and his calf would cramp. Yeah. I was like, gosh, man, why don't you just go and stretch it or something? I was like, nah, man, I'll be okay. I'll let it heal. Like, he did what he mentioned earlier, which was letting yourself feel the pain and truly understanding the pain of what you did. Because you can either experience the pain of, this is a quote by Jim Rohn, by the way, you can either deal with the pain of pleasure or the pain of discipline or the pain of not having, or the pain of not accomplishing what you want to accomplish. There's two pains you gotta accept. He'd rather accept the pain of discipline and training rather than the pain of failure. And he knows that he gave us everything for it, and he met his standards. He broke his own limitations, and that's really what's missing. This push, this willpower, this conviction to go after a superior version of yourself, but to go through the pain, the willpower to pain yourself through that, to push yourself through that. I mean, Brett sees me train a lot. I've had a lot of setbacks this year. I've hurt my wrist. I can't bench. I can't dumbbell press. The only thing I can do is pretty much cable flies. And I hurt something in my back. Something was tweaked. So squatting and stuff like that, and deadlifting is a pain. I try to do it for a few sets, and then the pain comes right back. Last year, I tore up one of my rotator cuffs. Like, man, this has been tough for your boy, because I've never had injuries before. And it's just, if you let yourself go through that process, you get to this point where you realize you just love it. You love the process. You want to get back to it real quick, and you can apply that principle to anything in life. Your work, he just got a bonus at work. You don't have the most entertaining job in the world, but he got his bonus,
Yeah.
and and he went on and he worked like he needed to, and he didn't fall asleep. He kept on hustling, and he got his reward for it. And same thing with me. I just keep on searching for ways to heal, to get better and better, and I'm going to get stronger and come back like never before. So I encourage y'all to take heed from our stories.
Yeah. The only way you're gonna unlock the willpower to do things is when you actually sit alone in your mind and relive or re-experience and deal with those past traumas and those demons. Fight those bastards, let them know that I'm ready to change. I'm ready to shed this skin and become something new, and get to that person that you want to be.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so true, because those things, man, habits control our lives to a certain degree. You gotta grab those bad habits by the balls and be like, look here, go somewhere else. The new life I'm gonna live, there's no place for you. There's no room, there's no time, there's no nothing, no energy to deal with you. And you don't have to solve those problems first. You go at it, and along the journey, you're solving your problems. You're dealing with those bad problems.
Yeah.
And you're reminding yourself constantly of them so you don't fall victim to them. And it motivates you as well to keep on going and to push to become that new person and shed that skin. Be the best version of yourself you can be through that. And that drive, that fuel, the willpower and discipline, and this bad perspective of your life versus others, and what is and what isn't, this made up story, you trying to protect your ego, those things will harm your journey. And you mentioned this to me before. When you reach the end of your journey, we've both been to funerals this month. When you reach the end of your journey, people will talk about what you've done, but they don't talk about what you could have done. And the only person that's going to be thinking about that is you while you're on your deathbed. You'll be asking yourself, did I live my life well enough? Did I become this thing? And there's this saying that he also told me, that at the end of our lives, God's going to have this chart, pull out this chart and say, this is what you could have been, this is what you could have done, this is what you should have done, this is what you did, this is what you should not have done, etc. And you'll realize, I didn't go for it. I didn't try hard enough. I took time for granted. You don't realize you're getting older. As I talk to you right now, I don't know how many minutes that we are into this. I just got that much older. He just got that much older. The sofa just got that much older. You're getting older second by second. Mm-hmm. That's why if I'm tired, and I didn't sleep well last night, okay, that was last night. I'll try to get better sleep tonight, but I'm not gonna cut off my responsibilities because I didn't get good sleep last night. No. Sleep, I'm not doing nothing while I'm asleep.
Yeah.
I'm just recovering.
if you have those friends that are, throwing those blankets on you and like, hey man, let's go train today, and they're like, nah, I'm not feeling it, then they're never gonna be feeling it. So
That's the truth.
you can either cut it's this day and age, I'd cut those people off,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, let's go work on our business today. Nah, man, I feel a little no, you're not serious
Life's
about
too
life.
short, man. Life's too short.
Don't let people distract you from your path, your visions and your goals and your dreams, because those are the most important thing. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting at your desk or whatever job you do, wondering why.
What if?
Yeah, what if?
You be sitting in your own pile of dirty disappointment. That's a pile of feces. You're just gonna be sitting there, and you have to, you lay in the bed you make. That's the truth. So if you want to sleep in a nice king size, comfy, best $1 million bed, you better put in millions of dollars worth of work to get that. If you want it, if you really want it, you can outgrow your environment by not letting your environment dictate your actions. Getting rid of those friends, getting rid of those bad habits, getting rid of that perspective, getting rid of that lack of drive. You gotta put yourself in full gear, top gear, and floor it.
Yeah.
You
have to you trick your mind.
Trick it.
Trick your mind, saying, like today, I was supposed to get up at 5 to go run. I didn't do that. I was like, wow, I felt like a POS, I was like, okay, I have a break here in about an hour or two. I'm gonna go do my mile, like I said I was gonna do. I went and did the mile, but halfway through the mile, I was like, I could really just head back home. It's half a mile. I don't have to tell anybody. I was like, that's, again, the blanket. You're lying to yourself.
Your brain doesn't like those things.
When
Can't get rid
you
of it.
start to realize that stuff is gross and that is holding you back, you'll get rid of all that and push forward for everything else. With your work, with your family, with your school, with your community. It starts here,
And it's just a roll out everywhere
All
else. You have
around.
this snowball effect. With the way you do one thing is the way you're gonna do everything. Remember that. The way you do one thing is the way you're gonna do everything. So you better take everything seriously. All right.
We're here to build some hard.
Yeah. Y'all gonna become
hard.
royal. You're gonna have
Yeah.
some royal lifestyles if you just apply what we apply. Apply what we talk about. That's why it's called the Royal Podcast. Royal action, royal mindsets, royalty, divine, high level, expensive. Your brain is the most valuable thing you got. Feed it. So if you watched all the way through this, I applaud you for feeding your brain and working to become somebody better. And you may just be watching to support our podcast, which we appreciate. Thank you so much, friends, family, and new viewers. So welcome to the channel. If you're new, hit the subscribe button and like. You should also share this with other people, because one thing that a lot of wealthy people do is give back. There are some that don't, but those are the ones that end in misery. Be one of those that share some of the wealth of your life, and some of that wealth is not necessarily not monetary or materialistic. You just send something to help somebody, bless somebody, help them be a better version of themselves, encourage them. So share it with somebody. Let us know what you think. What should we talk about? If you want us to talk about something specific, go ahead and comment it. Follow us on Instagram as well. We're trying to grow that. We're going to be posting a lot of highlights, updates, and news to come. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
We'll see y'all later.